Jake Paul. All day, every day.
Why?
Just think he knocks him out cold.
Would you be willing to take the bet with Tyson Fury that's saying that Jake is going to beat you?
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself. Yep. I'm focusing on myself. I'm fully betting on myself. I ain't worried about what anyone's got to say.
When I'm bouncing around the ring, jabbing, weaving, and doing all of these things, I know I can pick them apart and score points and make this a very, very big contest.
According to reports, Tyson Fury shocked everyone when he suddenly crashed the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul press conference, instantly shifting the entire atmosphere. With cameras rolling, Fury delivered a bold warning to Joshua, insisting that Jake Paul is far more dangerous than people realize. He even claimed that Paul possesses the power, discipline, and belief to pull off a massive upset. Fury went as far as declaring he would bet £1 million on Jake Paul to defeat Joshua, a statement that sent shockwaves through fans and analysts everywhere.
Talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look. Bit chubby, bit bulky. I like how Jake Paul calls that full spectrum from...
Anthony Joshua fired back at Fury's £1 million prediction, stating that he isn't distracted by outside wagers or unnecessary noise. He made it clear that his focus is entirely on himself and the task ahead. Joshua dismissed the betting talk as irrelevant, emphasizing that he prefers putting confidence in his own abilities, rather than getting pulled into hype. He stated that his job is to fight, secure his paycheck, and move forward, not to entertain gamble-driven headlines.
Would you be willing to take the bet with Tyson Fury that's saying that Jake is going to beat you?
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself. Yep. I'm focusing on myself. I'm fully betting on myself. I ain't worried about what anyone's got to say.
He did say he's going to put £1 million on it. Would you be willing to take that bet with Tyson Fury?
Respectfully, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say, or I'm not here for any of that betting and nonsense. I'm here to fight, and that's all it is. Once I get the job done, I'm going to collect my check, cash it, and I'm going to focus on the next one. My bet is on me doing the number.
Jake Paul, however, remains confident that he can beat Joshua, arguing that Anthony Joshua struggles with smaller fighters, which he believes gives him a potential edge. Analysts, including a commentator named Henry from a podcast, have broken down Joshua's previous fights with smaller opponents, pointing out certain patterns. While Paul emphasizes what he sees as a vulnerability, analysts counter that Joshua's technique, power, and reach advantage usually compensate for those differences. This has sparked a much broader debate over how size and stylistic contrast affect performance. Despite Jake's confidence, Joshua's experience and preparation still make him an incredibly tough challenge.
Anthony Joshua definitely doesn't struggle, and that's against guys who are of a similar stature to him. When he won his first world title against Charles Martin, he was a taller heavyweight, not taller than AJ necessarily, but a heavyweight of taller stature, and he got that one with a very simple knockout. It was one of the easiest fights of Anthony Joshua's career. He had a war against Vladimir Klitschko, but again, he was highly competitive and eventually managed to get Klitschko out of there. In the Kubrat-Pulev fight, while it was a mixed performance, he did end up producing one of his best knockouts. Similarly against Robert Helenius, whilst AJ probably didn't put in one of his best performances again, it ended in another dramatic knockout. He was punch perfect against Otto Wallin, in my opinion, and he had that absolutely devastating knockout win against Francis Ngannou, who, of course, an absolutely enormous man with a fantastic chin, or so it seemed until Anthony Joshua got his hands on him. Even earlier on in his career against the likes of White, Brazil, and Molina, these were all taller heavyweights who AJ dealt with consummate ease. Of course, most recently he had that loss against Daniel Dubois, but we can't say that Daniel Dubois is
Jake continues to portray himself as a fearless competitor ready for any test. But beneath the tough talk, he clearly understands the massive size gap he faces. He jokes about having to look up just to make eye contact with Joshua, yet keeps pushing the image of unwavering confidence. Jake wants the world to believe that sheer boldness can carry him through against a fighter who has held major titles and beaten top-tier opponents. He frames the fight as an example for younger fighters, suggesting that taking on a challenge this big shows real ambition.
You, Anthony Joshua, how we doing?
Dude, never been better. This is what I dreamed of. This is what I manifested into reality. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here. First round KO.
And the Schmo interviewed you there. When you fought Gib, it was on Fight TV. We've been with you along the way. Not very many times you're looking up at a face-off. So what did you make of looking up for one of the very first times at a face-off right here?
Just looking up at Daddy there and just seeing, how big he is, and just my eyes were kind of going into his nipples and stuff, which I kind of liked. And then basically I was just like, whoa, he's big in that. And then, I can't believe how tall he is.
Is this chain really on the line for the winner?
I don't know if it's confirmed, but I'm down. But he has to put something up too. There has to be something in it for me.
You say this is the biggest upset that's going to be in boxing history, right up there with 42-1 with Buster Douglas.
Yep.
What is the headline going to be when you knock this guy out and he's laying on the canvas?
Matchroom CEO Frank Smith has added to the controversy surrounding the Joshua versus Paul bout, warning that the event is more about spectacle than sport. He argued that instead of a legitimate boxing contest, the fight will likely be entertainment-driven, built to create buzz rather than uphold boxing's competitive standards. Smith suggested that fans are being sold shock value rather than genuine sporting merit. At the same time, he expressed hope that a Fury versus Joshua fight could still happen, calling it the biggest matchup available and expressing optimism that it could materialize by 2026. Still, he cautioned that boxing is full of talk, and many proposed fights never come to life. Joe Rogan believes the matchup is extremely dangerous, calling it one of the craziest fight ideas in recent years. He stressed that Joshua's size, strength, and high-level experience make him a terrifying opponent for Paul, noting that no contractual limitations can dilute Joshua's natural advantages.
Just to silence all the doubters here, a lot of people saying this can't be real, Anthony Joshua going in there, it must be an exhibition, or Anthony Joshua's it's going to be choreographed and Anthony's going to carry him through a couple of rounds. I know Anthony Joshua, just to silence all those doubters, he's going to go in there to do a job, right?
It's 100% real. It's 100% real. People asking why is it 8 rounds, not 10? Because I don't think it goes past the first round. So it's, regardless, it's quite irrelevant. I think he steps across the ring and knocks him out. But we're in for a bit of fun and everyone's going to be tuning in.
It might not be fun for Jake Paul. I mean, it's serious entertainment, is it?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I agree with you. I accept Jake Paul is absolutely mental for doing this. And I don't think he quite realizes. I think he's got people around him who actually are saying, Anthony Joshua's chinny. He said it in interviews. It's quite wild, but if that's the world he wants to live in, he'll find out on December 19th.
And Frank, to finish with, the plan is still sometime in 2026, AJ against Tyson Fury. And Turki Al-Sheikh's working on that, is he?
That's the fight we want to make. That's the fight we want to see. Look, we're all guilty of doing a lot of talking over the years and that not happening. So I don't want to talk too much, but that is definitely what we want to see in 2026.
Rogan pointed to Joshua's knockout of Francis Ngannou as clear evidence of his power, insisting that Paul should study that fight as a warning. According to Rogan, stepping into the ring with Joshua isn't just risky, it could go very badly.
Paul Anthony Joshua.
Boy. Well, realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Maybe we should watch the Francis Ngannou fight so you could see. Let's watch that real quick, just so you can see what Anthony Joshua is capable if he's fighting someone that's not in his league. Okay, look, Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice, and Andy Ruiz caught him in the first fight and dropped him and stopped him. It was spectacular. Andy Ruiz is super fucking talented. Usyk is perhaps the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. Maybe one of the greatest of all time in any weight class. Usyk. And Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice. But Francis Ngannou is coming off of this fight with, go a little bit before that so we can see this happen. Watch this.
Highlights, we just can't watch the whole fight.
So he drops him with a right hand early. And this is 2 minutes into the first round. And Francis gets up, he survives. And then Joshua, check out this combination he hits him with. I mean, dude, the speed that he hits him with this, he's so dangerous, man. It's like you're dealing with a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist, and he's enormous, and he's got vicious knockout power, and he's got immense amount of experience at world-class levels. Just think about what we said earlier. Fought Usyk twice, fought Andy Ruiz.
Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen have also expressed major concerns about Jake Paul's mindset heading into the Joshua fight. They argue that Paul's casual confidence and loud callouts might indicate he is underestimating just how dangerous Joshua truly is. They warn that Paul's inexperience and the huge leap in competition could lead to disastrous consequences. While some fans applaud Paul's courage, Schaub and Callen believe the situation demands more respect, discipline, and a realistic understanding of the danger qualities they fear Paul may be ignoring. Several analysts, however, believe Jake Paul might still have a legitimate chance to knock out Joshua.
Sparring, getting hit, that you just know. You're talking about Olympic gold medalist. I don't think people understand how good Anthony Joshua is. They see him against Usyk or they see him against, Ruiz, and they're like, oh, he lost. And they think somehow that because he's nice, that he's not an absolute killer.
I don't think everyone
life.
knows that, B.
A lot of people are like,
You're hanging out with the wrong people then. I mean,
6'6", 245. Let me just say this. It's a different ecosystem. Look, Jake's a thick kid. 227 is a lot. It's heavy. He's big. He's athletic. But this is different. You're not Usyk. You ain't Usyk.
Jesus.
You're talking about a very different athlete.
Do you want me to go now?
Please.
With all your rambling here?
Please.
Dude, first of all, before I go in on the cojones on Jake Paul, you have got to.
That's what I said.
Whatever the fuck your criticism of the guy is, whatever. The cojones, the huevos on this fucking kid.
I agree.
To step in there with fucking Anthony Joshua is insane. He deserves all the money.
With 14 ounce.
And what he's doing is flipping boxing on its fucking head. And this is exactly what he's there for. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Kudos to him. Kudos to him.
100%.
Now, what bothers me is when you and other people go, I mean, Jake's 6'1", 227. I mean, it's insane. The other guy's 6'6". Jake could be 6'10".
I know.
300 pounds of shredded. What you guys are missing the mark on is Anthony Joshua is a gold medal winner in the Olympics.
It's high-level professional. High-level.
No, hold on. World champion. So I don't like it when we're talking like, dude, he's
it's
so
not
much,
a physical
so much
thing,
bigger.
it's a skill thing.
So I'll say this, and I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a fake fight, it's rigged, especially because you got Eddie Hearn involved, and they're using 10-ounce gloves,
10 ounce
which is a big deal, and it's 8 3-minute rounds. 10-ounce gloves.
It's terrifying.
That's what you do in professional boxing, heavyweight boxing, which those do nothing, by the way.
They do nothing.
What you guys need to understand is, if this fight's not fixed, no one's taking a fall, cut all that narrative out. But I will tell you this. If Anthony Joshua decides to take this as serious...
One notable voice is former world champion and trainer Buddy McGirt, who views the fight as surprisingly competitive given Paul's development as a heavyweight. McGirt considers the matchup nearly even, pointing to both fighters' size, reach, and punching power as factors that could swing the fight either way. He notes that in heavyweight boxing, a single clean punch can dramatically change everything, giving an underdog like Paul a real opportunity if an opening appears. Although Joshua remains the heavy favorite due to his experience and pedigree, McGirt and others argue that Paul's determination, recent improvements, and fearlessness create a scenario where a knockout, likely as it may seem, still exists, within the realm of possibility.